Oh, jeez. I screwed up my orientation. Yikes. Good afternoon. Here we go. Lou, what's happening? How are you? Hey, Aurora. Screwed up my orientation. We're already off to a bad start. Oops. Boy, are the trolls gonna have fun with this one. Look at how stupid that crazy bitch, vile, horrible person is. She can't even get her orientation right. Sorry about that. So we're going vertical. So I don't want to hear it. Don't start hijacking the chat because Regan got the orientation wrong. How is everybody? Plumbers from San Antonio, Texas. Hi, Adam. Dublubs. Yeah, that's what she said. So I am sitting in my car right now. I want to show you Mayor Johnston's first micro community that he's building. And there's a very bittersweet feel and story to all of this because this micro community is going in the very spot that probably has the most historical presence, we'll call it, on my YouTube channel. I have been through some shit in this very area, and so have my friends. We have gone through a lot right here in this very spot. And one of the reasons that I just really haven't been able to kind of get back out here, and I'm out here, don't get me wrong, but I've been keeping an eye on this progress of this micro community. It's very bittersweet. This is where I was arrested, and you can see it on my YouTube channel 3 years ago, right here in this very cul-de-sac, when Cowboy decided to hold out in a tent, and he got a hotel and I got jail. And that story has just really unfolded from there. There are so many videos on my channel from this very location. One of the first videos is from this very field right here. I'm going to show you. I've earned some stripes. Well, thank you very much. Hey Razor, how you doing? Tent City and Amarillo got disbanded last night at 8 p.m. Cops ran everybody off. Thankfully, no one was arrested. So Razor, thanks for being in here. Razor went back to Amarillo from Denver. And I don't know how are things going for you out there, Razor. You know, I don't know how many cities are going to try to replicate this. Some of them are already doing this, these micro communities, but Johnston is spending a lot of money. And I'm talking, I don't even really know how they could justify $5 million for this spot for 120 pallet shelters. $5 million. And that's just for the pallet shelters. That doesn't even include all this construction going on right here, right now. Hey, Amanda, how are you? Brandon, how's it going? Joe Cool, hey, long time no see. How you doing? Hope you're well. Bocamo's back in the house. Hey, lady, I sent you an email. Are you ignoring me? So, are you back on with your cell phone? But anyway, back to this little issue here. I want to show you what's going on here. In this very field is where I was first threatened with arrest. This is a much different look. Sorry for the orientation. Once again, I screwed it up when I set the live stream. Right here in this very field, during COVID, 2 cops, and it's on my YouTube channel, were just harassing the shit out of this kid, standing over him, trying to make him clean up, essentially, while they stood there and watched him. And I just happened to be riding my bike that day, and I saw it, so I came riding over. And, of course, the cops threatened to arrest me for being on this piece of CDOT property. This is public property. This is not private property. But, yeah, they threatened to arrest me over there if I didn't leave. I said, do it. And they wouldn't do it. But ultimately, I did get arrested right here, right over there by that little concrete pillar in my tent. But they have this all set up now. They did their groundbreaking last week, and the neighbors are pissed. And let me tell you, I don't know if this guy still lives here, but this guy would come out with a bat and try to take on some of the folks that were, essentially living here in campers and tents. He would dump animal urine on their stuff. He threatened, in front of me, to set their stuff on fire. Ironically, there's a lot of fires over here. I find that way too coincidental. I don't know if this guy still lives here or not. But during some of these community meetings, the mayor was out here, and I don't know what their beef is. None of them want to see homeless living in unsanctioned camps. Okay? That's what they've growled about for years. I don't want to see homeless people, and not in my backyard. Oh yeah, but we need to help them, but just not here. And if I'm going to work, I don't want to see homeless people. So okay, well, here you go, neighbors. And in a way, I mean, I'm thankful that Johnston picked this site and got it going. People aren't going to be able to utilize it until December. I'm worried about that. So, yeah, they took this whole fence down. There was this whole entire privacy fence. I'm wondering, it was in shambles. The wind was blowing it over. It was falling on people. They were accidents waiting to happen, those fence panels. So I'm wondering if those will go back up because of the noise. I mean, of all the things that these neighbors want to complain about. So this is going to be entirely fenced and gated and manned 24/7 by a third-party service provider, which all of that kind of seems to be up in the air right now. And that's a little scary as well. But this is going to have 120 pallet shelters in it. This space. I can't think of a more spacious piece of public property to put one of these camps on other than this site. There's another one, and for those of you that watch my videos where you saw Ed O'Connell go into Stephanie's camper, that spot is also designated to become a micro-community. That's also another good spot. However, it's like 1/8 of this size. So I don't know how many people they think they're going to put in there, but 120 here with on-site services to include restroom facilities, running water. However, I think it's all going to still be portable stuff. Porta potties, things like that. So they managed to get their porta potties set up for the construction here behind the fence. And I'm just most curious how this camper already ended up on the other side of the fence waiting for their spot in the micro community. So as you know, Denver has pretty much obliterated everybody's property out here on the streets that live in campers. They're just taking them. And they managed to get that pretty much accomplished in between administration shifts. There's a kitty cat. There's a big old kitty cat, and he's right there next to Santa Fe. I hope he doesn't get hit. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Come here. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. See him? And it is hot here today, you guys. It's 90 degrees. And our fall and spring sun is so intense here in Colorado. What are you doing, kitty? I don't want to spook him. I don't want him to run the opposite way and run out into traffic. Just leave him alone. But check these out. So, yeah, I wanted to... So there's one of these right here. And then there's one further down in that other fenced-in area. So I'm assuming this is where they're going to have all their construction equipment. I don't know. But yeah, they did all that in a day. Boy, isn't it amazing when government, wants to do something? Boy, they sure get it done, don't they? I mean, at 3 times the cost, but... I wonder if that kitty has a home in that trailer. I don't know. So, I just came over here to check this progress out. I've been watching it. I've been quietly just observing things. I don't feel particularly great about how people are being selected to be put in these micro-communities and motels. On the city council agenda in Denver, there is a lot of millions of dollars on the agenda for approval next week for hotel acquisitions, for service provider leases, all kinds of stuff. And as you know, Mayor Johnston has declared homelessness a state of emergency. I think I've told you that before, for Denver. So, he also had announced a partnership this past week with the federal government. Just like I said would happen, the money would start to flow. I don't know how you justify this many hundreds of millions of dollars again, simply for the House 1,000 People plan. I mean, if anybody can take $1 million project and turn it into 10 million, it would be government, right? But you know what? Taxpayers, this is all you. It's not me. I don't vote for this shit. In fact, if I do vote, I vote to get government out of the business of solving social ills because it's too expensive and it's bankrupting the people. But what do I know? So, at any rate, I just wanted to do this and so you could all see it and I could check in and say, hey, yeah, Noel, you have to take care of your cronies. There's Aurora Transparency. Yep, glad to see her in here. Things are going great for her. We are officially professional protesters. You should see us in action this coming week. And some things have fell to the wayside again. Still doing a lot of things behind the scenes with trying to help people secure some housing, these processes, because the government is involved, move at half of a turtle pace. And when we decide we are going to potentially show up for work will give you a call. Has anybody noticed in 2023, especially if you're a government employee, you're now a hero for calling in sick? Everybody is sick all the time, magically. What do you say? What do you say? You can't be sick? Go get a doctor's note? Oh, you get paid for calling in sick too? How convenient. So at any rate, I've been trying to do a lot of things behind the scenes, and still waiting on some things with Cowboy. I'm having a hard time moving past that. There is a serious injustice occurring right here with how Cowboy's death was investigated. And for those of you that followed the panel discussion with Destiny and Starla, who happens to be Steve's daughter and ex-wife, we did make some progress this past week, and I got a phone call from the Adams County Sheriff's Department Internal Affairs Sergeant. I will say it was an impressive phone call. He wasn't a dick. He wasn't an arrogant ass. He did no sidestepping. He made no excuses. And in fact, he apologized that their internal processes, for whatever reason, he wasn't exactly sure, weren't working. And, you know, here in La La Land, in America, we allow the police to investigate themselves. And in the process of doing that, if they just happen to not get that right, oh well, yeah. So according to him, my complaint was never received back on July 20th. They did, however, find it. Well, wasn't that amazing? Probably after somebody threw it in the trash, I would suspect. So now that complaint has been resurrected, and we will, hopefully, things will go the way he said they will, and we will be getting a call from the commander that oversees homicide, and we will get at least an opportunity to understand why, in my opinion and Destiny's, there was no thorough investigation done with his death. The coroner in Adams County continues to remain silent. After responding to Destiny one time to answer a couple of her questions that she had, and when there was follow-up to those questions, silence. Guess why? Because the answers that they put in writing to those questions were a lie, and it can be proven. So things aren't looking good for the Adams County coroner. They put some false information in an official autopsy report. What are we going to do about it? Well, what can you do about it? Well, we could go get a private autopsy done for thousands of dollars with the specimens that the coroner preserves. If I had to guess, we probably wouldn't even be getting his specimens. So why would we do that? Cowboy's gone forever. Nothing's going to bring him back. So we're going to continue to redress our government as professional protesters, some of us. And we're going to see if we make any progress. And for those of you that are curious about the Adams County Coroner Office in Colorado, I encourage you to just Google it and look at their reviews. I think that speaks for itself. So it's no secret that Adams County is nowhere to die. If you're going to die, do it in Denver. I have nothing but good things and trust to say, and continue to hope that the Denver Coroner's Office remains that way. They're a pretty stellar operation. I will give Denver credit for that. However, it's not ran by the Department of Safety, so that's probably why. It's a good organization. But if you have a 911 emergency, don't have that in Denver, because you're going to be waiting. That operation is ran by the Department of Safety. So, that's where my probation office is. Isn't that funny? Maud, can we get rid of Bird's comments there? Actually, go ahead and ban that person. Zero tolerance policy. You're gonna get in here and talk shit about my people. Let's see if that stays. Are we back? Hey, ANCAP, how's it going? Thanks, Aurora. TC, what they did to that single mother and daughter at that site is egregious. Elaborate on that, please. Doing all right. Leonard, is that our friend Leonard in here? How are you, friend? What did you hear me talking about? Coroner's office? So I was saying that if you have to die, do it in Denver. If you want some hope in honesty through a coroner's office, right? I have nothing but good things to say about the Denver Coroner's Office, and they're not ran by the Department of Public Safety. Oh yes, Phyllis, that video. Let's talk about that for a second. Wow, wow, wow. That was in LA, right? For those of you, I don't know if anybody, yeah, there you go. Fab Daddy, LAVA parking lot for the homeless. A single mother and her daughter are living, her obviously teenage daughter, almost probably, I'm assuming, nearly adult daughter, are living in her car, waiting for housing through the Salvation Army. Okay, so the VA is a highly dysfunctional operation, as we all know, all across America. So we have these third-party service providers, and Salvation Army being a huge one. Was working on a voucher for this woman. Something happened. She was continuing to wait for that housing. Wasn't like she wasn't trying. So they were living in that vehicle. And the VA police approach her car in the middle of the night and bust out her window and drag her out, and her daughter is in the custody of Child Protective Services. Yeah, this is some crazy stuff. And there was a GoFundMe started for that woman that was taking off fairly well. And I hope that those two get the support that they need, because I listened to the man that was helping her out. He did a video on that. I don't know, Phyllis, was that, you sent that to me from his channel, I think. Awesome, Anonymous. Donated for the purpose of housing, helping vets, no less, right? Yes, she was charged with 2 felonies for allegedly spraying the cop with pepper spray. Never heard any of that discussed during that arrest. Never saw any of that. So at what point was she pepper spraying the cops? I'm not quite sure I'm down with that. They probably found pepper spray in her car and submitted that as evidence and made that claim. I have no doubts about that. Mr. Checkpoint Channel, thank you. Yeah, 880 acres of empty land. Unreal. Unreal. Yeah, but anyway, that is a travesty, for sure. Luckily, we're not having things like that happening here, knock on wood. But we've got a lot of vulnerable people here. And what I was starting to say over there, I'm not necessarily pleased with how people are being selected so far. But because we have a very strong and cohesive network of advocates here, we met with the mayor, and he said some good things. We finally got that meeting with the mayor that he said he'd give us. And we're not real pleased with his response to prioritizing vulnerable people for these micro communities and other shelter, including motels. What he wants to do is close camps. And in closing these encampments, they're just going in and saying, you know what, we have another place for you. But, we'll ask you a few questions and then we'll decide if we want to pick you or not. Well, the wrong people are going into shelter. You've got people out here, amputees in wheelchairs. You've got elderly, disabled. You've got extreme mental illness. And you got a 25-year-old guy getting a motel while the amputee is sitting in his wheelchair 2 blocks down because he wasn't at the right encampment decommissioning. Okay, you got to stop this. This is stupid. This is not going to work. Don't do this. So us advocates, mainly House Key Action Network Denver. For those of you that pay attention to the press, you saw them downtown rallying this past Monday. I was involved in a few things prior to that last week. I didn't go to that rally or that city council meeting, but that group continues to take the lead and really lays out some good points with the mayor. We're working as a very cohesive group to ensure that advocates have say. We're the ones out here on the streets with these people. We know them. There are other third-party service providers that do good work as well. There's a couple, and they too need to have input. And one of the other rules that really is non-negotiable is that they want to pluck these people off the streets, stick them into these communities, and then tell us that we can't go on the property. No, we need to be able to continue our work with our people. So those are the things that we're advocating for right now. So there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. I will say this is 100% better than when Hancock was out here just annihilating people and their property. There was no press. There was no coverage of that. None. Now, all of a sudden, Denver's a national story. But guess what? Most of the damage has been done. And it was done through the Hancock administration. Johnston said he was going to stop the sweeps. That didn't happen. Johnston made some excuses for that. He's got the wrong people in positions of power, including Armando Saldalte, the executive director of Denver's Department of Public Safety. That guy needs to be shit-canned and shipped off somewhere where he can never be involved in anything government ever again. This guy is fucking worthless. And so, because they want to continue that reign of terror on people, why Johnston decided to not replace him is really a very contentious point with me. It's really hard for me to trust that this isn't exactly the kind of enforcement that Johnston wants after all the newness has worn off, right? And the press is bored with it. It's no longer a national story. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been spent paying salaries. They put a few people in temporary solutions, and now all of a sudden we're going to be back on the enforcement train. And there are still conversations, very legitimate and realistic conversations happening with people in government that love this idea of involuntary holds. There's discussion about using Denver's old jail to turn that into essentially a mental health hold facility. I'm not okay with that. This is America. If we don't have actual places that are honest about treatment for severe mental health issues, I don't want the government involved through a Department of Public Safety cramming people in the basement of an old jail. GTFO with that. That's another reason that I just kind of stayed back, because I will go to jail. If I see that happening, I'm gonna go to jail. Could you imagine? Yeah, no. And I'm very fearful that because Johnston decided not to overhaul the Department of Safety, in fact, he's praising his leaders in the Department of Safety in Denver. That's a problem. That is pretty much red flag 2.5 for me. You're this far away from red flag 3. No longer can trust you. No. So that's why I'm just kind of sitting back right now. Yeah, Jeannie, there are a lot of people out here that I've got to know. And there are some of them that want to just be left alone. And they're hurting no one. But we live in this civilized society where mob rule takes over. And people get to decide who gets to live or die. I'm not down with that. And I'm actually very afraid for a few of these people out here. I'm very afraid for them. And, all these neighbors, which I happen to be one of them, just FYI, I'm exceptionally close on a daily basis to this micro community. And I'm A-okay with that. Because in my mind, anybody that's willing to go into this temporary shelter is safer than they would be on the streets. Okay? And then I know where they're at. I can have more confidence that there's a good service provider in there and that they're safe. People like Jesse, people like Phil. Phil's still out here. Here's Jesse with us today, by the way. So there's a lot of concern about the direction they want to go with the people that they're determined to round up. And that's what this is. This is a rounding up of people. And it's already scary enough that the government is running it. So if you have unfettered trust in government to solve social ills, you are probably as un-American as they come. So Lois, he is not any better than what we had. Are you talking about Johnston? Oh, snarky user. Did Saldalte ever get checked out on that court in the park garbage? No. And here's why I left that alone, because I just don't have time. No action was taken. However, it's pretty obvious what went on, right? With Saldalte coming out and walking across the park, and all of a sudden my stream goes completely dead for 30 minutes, but it came back up when I walked away. And the judge threatening to have the sheriff take my phone. Yeah, that was an interesting day. But that's the kind of shit Saldalte, he's no good. He's no good. The government is busy picking a speaker to actually govern. You really believe that, Fab Daddy? You really, do you need governed? I don't, I hope and pray for a government shutdown. Okay, start ripping into me. I don't care. I'm done. I'm done with the shit. I'm just done with it. Yeah, Lois, he is bad news. So, at any rate, well, I just wanted to check in with everybody. It's been a couple weeks, and we'll see what happens next. We still have upcoming on the horizon. It's looking very, very good. Like my Halloween nails. Can you see those? Those are pretty groovy, aren't they? I love them. I have a new nail guy. His name's Jordan. I love the Asian community, how they pick their American names. There are some very good male nail techs in the Asian community, and this guy's one of them. And he did this freehand. See my itsy bitsy spider? Can you see the cobweb? There it is. He did all that freehand. I'm gonna keep this guy around. Yeah, Rusty, I mean, they've got that market cornered. You know why? Because they're damn good at it. And they're hard workers. And that's one of the main reasons that I get my nails done, because I enjoy supporting them. I enjoy learning from them. Now, they need to learn some things from us too. One of them is you can't make up pricing, okay? When you advertise prices, you can't say just $5 more, okay? You cannot do that every time to me. No more $5 more. I no more, my friend, no more. However, it's very hard for them to stay in business with the rise of rents and whatnot. But so there's some things that they like to try to pull on you and use the excuse, I don't understand. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So this guy is actually cheaper. And so what happens when you're cheaper like that? You have someone like me that's going to tip you more. Take just 5 extra minutes with me, Jordan. Yes, I love them. He is good, isn't he, Aurora? All right. Any more questions before I leave? Yeah, good stuff on the horizon for getting Shelly into housing. That's what I was starting to say before I got distracted by the nails. We're getting her there. Not only are we getting her there, we're getting her brother housed as well. So that's what's taking a little bit longer. Jerry continues to thrive in his beautifully, very comfortably furnished apartment. Thank you, everybody. You really delivered for Jerry, and it was very much appreciated. And I hope we can do that again when we get Shelly and her brother into their apartment. They have absolutely nothing. So this is going to be a big project. And I have some more really great news. I love this idea of shifting over into helping people furnish their spaces. There's going to be folks that need things in this micro community. I want to be the nonprofit that can help do that. I want to be able to make it a fair and equitable process for people. 120 units is a lot. People are going to be coming here with various things. Certain things aren't going to be allowed. These are supposed to be heated and cooled properly. Let's hope that's the case. But I want to be the nonprofit that does that, because so many of you have been exceptionally generous and very kind in doing that. And I think that's another area that we can really plug into. So thank you, and look for more of that coming up. And I've got retailers interested in being donors as well. I just got a $400 gift card from American Furniture Warehouse. We'll be giving a shout out to them on all of my social media platforms when the time comes to be able to utilize that gift card. However, if I read it correctly, they only do that once a year for select nonprofits. There's that black cat. Aw, that's kind of freaky, right? So that black cat crossed my path twice today, but he didn't really cross my path, right? He's behind me. And it was kind of wild. So anyway, that's a lot of great news to be able to continue to help people do that. And I want to do it again. They need furnishings and housewares as part of the healing process. Aurora, thank you, thank you, thank you. That couldn't be more true. They also need incentive to be able to be comfortable in a space versus being told that they've got to go somewhere with nothing and find themselves more comfortable out on the streets because that's where they have support and can do things and get things, right? So we've seen those cases where here's your housing, have fun, good luck. And where are they? They're right back out on the street trying to get things to put in their housing, but finding it more convenient to just be there. Moving is not easy. So why we do that, I don't know. So I really want to make this shift into plugging into those areas. And the mayor's administration should thank me for that, so they can pay themselves more with the hundreds of millions of dollars that they're bringing in through the federal government, right? Yeah. See what I'm talking about? How can I get in touch with you? I have a giving freedom solution. Maui, that's wonderful. You can email me. So if you go to the About tab of my YouTube channel, in that About section, my email is in there, but it's Regan, R-E-G-A-N, at helpinghandsfordignity.org. And that's all spelled out. Regan at helpinghands, plural, fordignity.org. Yes, please send me an email. I'd love to hear your ideas. Snarky user Jake Jabs flashbacks. Isn't that great though? Hey, so I want to do more of that with retailers and see if we can make some of those things happen. Walmart kind of owes me. I've spent probably close to 10 grand on gift cards at Walmart in the last 3 years. So they're another one that I want to hit up, but won't that be interesting? Remember, I was thrown out of Walmart for going there to retrieve a $100 donation from the Walmart money. Remember that day? Were any of you watching that? They accused me of fraud. Wouldn't give me my money because I didn't know the sender's legal name. I had the ticket, I had the little transaction number, I had the dollar amount, I had my ID, I had everything, but this control freak punk ass little bitch at customer service decided, you don't get your money, I'm gonna flag this as fraud. I was like, what? Yeah, you have to verify everything I ask you, and if you can't, I'm not giving you the money. Yeah, I said, call a manager. So he gets the manager up there, and then that dumbass doubles down. So I called him a dumb fuck or something, and he told me to get out of the store. I said, give me my money. I said, you better call the cops. I said, if I'm committing fraud, you better get them over here right now and bust my ass for committing fraud. Meanwhile, my friends were in the store shopping. I told them to go get some groceries. I was getting them a motel for the night. This was in the middle of winter. It was 10 below. And so they were in the store without a phone. I'm getting kicked out of Walmart because I'm committing fraud, which, by the way, it was in District 4, DPD District 4. I was so damn hopeful they would call the cops on me. But they didn't. and I had to make a big old scene to get my friends to come out of the store. They had a car full of groceries. They come walking over. I'm like, leave that shit there. We're leaving. We got kicked out. So we went and spent money somewhere else. So anyway, I'm going to go back to Walmart and tell them they owe me. We'll see what happens. No, the computer system wasn't flagging that transaction, Snarky. You should have seen the way this guy was interacting with the general public up there at the service desk. This guy was a control freak. So don't give me that shit because I've done it before. I've done it again since then. And I didn't even know, they never even asked me the guy's name. So yeah, no, not that time. Yeah, Sam Walton would be pissed off if he knew they were retaliating for helping homeless. Yes, they would. David, DR Broden, well, thank you very much. I'm not looking too beautiful. It's work in progress. I'll get there at some point. New meds. But I'm making positive progress. SV, well, I'm just about to end this, so you'll have to go back and watch it. But anyway, you guys, thank you for being in here. I really appreciate your help and your support, and for watching, and for caring. Most importantly, for caring. Secondly, for sharing. If you want to donate to the nonprofit, all the ways to donate are in the About section of my channel. There's Venmo, Cash App, regular mail, PayPal is my personal PayPal that does not deposit directly into the nonprofit. All of the other accounts do. If you give to PayPal, it's up to me how I spend that money. Most of the time, it goes right back into the work. So all those ways to donate are in the About section. If you would prefer to go to the wish list, we need to update that. So we're going to do that very soon. Amanda and I are going to get that wish list updated. And if you prefer to give items instead, please, by all means, do that. We'll get to work on that. There are still things on there that we need. Hand warmers, blankets, socks, all of those kinds of things are still needed for winter, regardless if people are out on the streets or in these micro communities. There's always going to be a need. So thank you again, you guys. See something, film something. Sorry, yeah, you'll have to watch. But yes, please, by all means, if you see something, film something. Thank you very much. Peace, guys. Take care.